Right now, millions of households are gritting their teeth paying massive monthly electricity bills just to survive the summer heat. But there is a physical truth that has been completely forgotten. A solution that stops the heat and cuts down that financial burden starts at just $15. It is a roll of thermal window film, sitting right now on store shelves with the ability to block solar radiation directly at the glass. The technology behind this film is not new at all. It was developed and successfully tested by engineers at the American Space Agency NASA back in the 1970s. But why is a cheap physical defense layer that requires zero maintenance and has clear scientific origins completely missing from your annual energy-saving newsletters? Let us break down the financial leak that is silently draining your wallet every single afternoon. Here is the physics they decided you did not need to know when they were designing the structure of your monthly bill. When sunlight reaches a standard glass window, three distinct things happen simultaneously at the molecular level. A small fraction reflects off the outer glass surface. A second fraction is absorbed directly into the glass material itself. But the absolute largest fraction passes directly through the clear glass as pure solar radiation. That radiation then strikes your couches, your floors, and your walls. Upon contact with any solid interior surface, that light energy converts instantly into trapped thermal heat. This is the exact definition of the residential greenhouse effect, taking place daily inside your living room. The United States Department of Energy has measured this thermal impact with total precision. In a hot climate, up to 40% of the total heat load inside a home enters directly through the windows, rather than through the walls or the roof. Think carefully about what that means. The heat is not coming through the attic insulation you just spent thousands of dollars to upgrade. It is pouring straight through the glass, sitting entirely unprotected in your walls. Your expensive air conditioning unit is not actually combating the outdoor weather. It is running a brutal, losing race against your own windows every single afternoon. The scientists at the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory have documented this phenomenon fully. Their testing proved that unshaded, south-facing glass, sitting under direct afternoon sun, transfers up to 250 British thermal units of heat per square foot per hour, continuously, straight into your living space. For the average family home, that thermal gain is the equivalent of plugging in a 1,000-watt electric space heater, placing it right behind every single unprotected window, and running it at full blast during the peak sun hours of every summer afternoon. The average American household pays roughly $1,200 annually on electricity. In states with intense summer seasons, more than 44% of that burden is attributed directly to air conditioning. A home with just 4 unprotected west-facing windows can generate $60 to $90 of entirely unnecessary monthly costs simply by admitting solar heat that was never supposed to enter the house at all. That translates to over $1,000 per year, paid entirely to fight a glass vulnerability that costs a mere $15 to fix. Solar control window film has been commercially manufactured continuously since the late 1960s. When engineers at the NASA Johnson Space Center struggled with extreme heat loads, they adapted the metallic thin film coatings designed to protect spacecraft and applied them directly to their facility windows. The air conditioning load dropped immediately. Once this federal research was published, commercial real estate developers adopted the technology almost overnight. Skyscrapers received the upgrade because the corporate mathematics were undeniable. When the Empire State Building underwent a massive energy retrofit, they utilized solar control film across their glass facade. Their documented result was a 68% drop in heat gain across the treated areas, paying back the installation cost in just 1 year. Furthermore, the General Services Administration has specified solar control film as a required standard for federal buildings for over 30 years. Yet, your local utility company has never mentioned a single word of this to you. Not in a newsletter, and certainly not in the guides recommending that you buy a smart thermostat for $200. The residential energy efficiency sector generates over $60 billion per year in consistent revenue through system replacements and service contracts. Solar control film costs $15 for a standard roll. You apply it yourself in under 30 minutes. No licensed contractor is required. The film performs its heat blocking function for up to 10 years unassisted. You simply cannot build a $60 billion industry on a product that a homeowner purchases one time for $15. You cannot generate recurring labor revenue from it. The industry did not actively destroy this solution. They simply chose not to promote anything that does not require a monthly subscription. While you were actively searching the internet for smart thermostats and getting heavily inflated insulation quotes from local contractors, a simple $15 roll of film sat quietly on a hardware store shelf, fully backed by 50 years of rigorous government research. Here is exactly what you need to do this coming weekend to permanently close the loop on half a century of this entirely unnecessary financial leak. Step 1 requires you to physically walk through your home and identify every single south-facing and west-facing window on every floor of every room you have. You must understand why these specific orientations matter. They receive the most intense, direct afternoon sun exposure during the absolute hottest parts of the day. These are your primary solar heat entry points. They are the major thermal vulnerabilities in your building envelope, and they are the priority targets you must address before doing anything else. Step 2 involves selecting the correct physical material for the job. When you search online or in hardware stores for solar control window film, you must look for a specific product rating. You need a film that is officially rated below 0.40 on the solar heat gain coefficient scale. This specific number represents the exact fraction of solar radiation that is allowed to be admitted through the treated glass. Furthermore, you want to select a film with at least 50% visible light transmission. This is a critical detail. This specific balance ensures your living rooms and kitchens retain their natural, bright daytime illumination. You are stopping the invisible infrared radiation, which is the physical heat you feel on your skin, but you are absolutely not blocking the visible light that you actually need to see. Modern high-quality films do exactly that, remaining nearly completely transparent once applied. Reliable commercial brands are widely available for delivery today. Your total material cost to upgrade a standard-sized residential window will typically range from just $15 to $25. Step 3 is the physical application process, which is drastically simpler than most homeowners imagine. You start by cleaning each interior window surface thoroughly with a simple homemade solution consisting of 50% water and 50% standard liquid dish soap mixed in a basic spray bottle. You apply the film completely wet directly onto the freshly cleaned interior glass. This soapy moisture acts as a temporary lubricant, allowing you to easily slide the thin film into the perfect geometric position against the window frame. Once it is perfectly aligned, you use a simple rubber squeegee, pressing firmly from the center of the glass toward the outer edges to clear out all the trapped water and completely eliminate any air bubbles. Each standard window takes under 30 minutes from start to finish. Absolutely no professional-grade tools, no heavy power equipment, and no construction permits are required for any part of this entire process. Step 4 requires nothing but basic patience. You must allow 72 full hours for the adhesive backing to cure completely against the glass. You might notice some minor visual haziness or tiny water pockets during this initial curing period. That is a completely normal chemical reaction, and it will vanish naturally as the residual moisture fully evaporates. After the curing finishes, the film becomes fully optically clear and virtually invisible to the naked human eye. The documented homeowner results are incredibly consistent and financially measurable across the entire country. Arizona homeowners who proactively applied this exact film to their south and west windows documented total cooling runtime reductions of 40 to 60% within the very first complete billing cycle after their installation. In one fully documented case, a family living in Phoenix invested exactly $31 to cover 3 large windows. Their monthly electricity bill dropped by $112 that exact same month, compared directly to the identical billing month in the previous calendar year. The payback period for their full financial investment was under 30 days. The United States Department of Energy officially classifies solar control window film as one of the highest value energy efficiency upgrades available for homeowners living in warm and hot climate zones today. This critical knowledge did not simply vanish from the world on its own terms. It waited. It sat buried in dense government documents and highly technical published reports, while 50 full years of brutal summer electricity bills piled up in mailboxes across the nation. You were not paying those massive bills because there was no scientific solution. You were paying them because the solution was kept quietly out of sight, while the efficiency industry heavily focused on pushing higher margin products and securing your signature on recurring monthly service contracts. The obvious question that remains is entirely structural. If the physics are this undeniable and the government documentation is this extensive, why has every single authority figure in the residential housing market remained completely silent about a $15 solution? The answer does not require a complex conspiracy theory. It only requires a basic understanding of modern corporate economics and the precise structure of the $60 billion residential energy efficiency sector. Consider the exact journey a standard homeowner takes when their summer electricity bills become completely unmanageable. The first step is usually contacting the local utility provider. The utility company will happily send out an inspector to perform a home energy audit. That auditor will walk through your living room and hand you a heavily branded brochure recommending a $200 smart thermostat that connects to your wireless internet. They might also suggest signing up for a monthly budget billing plan to spread out your financial pain across all 12 months of the year. But they will never mention the glass. If the homeowner pushes further, they will call a licensed local contractor. That professional will inspect the property and quickly generate a comprehensive estimate for a total system overhaul. They will recommend replacing your entire heating, ventilation, and air conditioning unit for $6,000. They will suggest blowing new fiberglass insulation into your attic for $2,000. They might even recommend completely tearing out your existing windows to install heavy double-pane alternatives, a massive construction project that easily exceeds $10,000. Every single one of these recommended solutions shares 3 specific operational traits. Number 1, they require a massive upfront financial investment from the homeowner. Number 2, they require expensive professional labor to install. And number 3, they trap the homeowner in a continuous cycle of recurring maintenance, seasonal tune-ups, and extended warranty contracts. Now compare that highly lucrative business model to a standard roll of solar control window film. The physical material costs $15 to $25. You purchase it one time. You apply it yourself using tap water and liquid dish soap. There is absolutely no professional installation fee. There is no licensed contractor taking a massive profit margin. There is no annual service contract required to keep the film functioning. Once the adhesive cures to the glass, the metallic layer simply sits there and perfectly reflects infrared radiation for up to 10 consecutive years without requiring a single second of professional maintenance. This is the brutal mathematical reality of the residential housing industry. You simply cannot build a $60 billion corporate empire on a physical product that a homeowner purchases one single time for $15. You cannot generate recurring labor revenue from it. You cannot attach a profitable monthly service subscription model to a piece of passive aerospace technology. The major corporations did not actively collude to destroy this solution. They did not have to. In a pure capitalist market, any product that cannot produce massive profit margins and recurring revenue will simply never appear in a corporate marketing budget. While the commercial real estate sector quietly upgraded their massive glass skyscrapers to protect their corporate bottom lines, the residential consumer was left completely in the dark, successfully conditioned to believe that paying hundreds of dollars every summer was simply the unavoidable cost of modern living. Let us examine the window replacement industry specifically. When a sales representative sits at your kitchen table, they will promise you extreme energy savings if you sign a financing agreement today. But what they will carefully avoid telling you is the actual return on investment timeline. Upgrading perfectly structurally sound windows simply to block summer heat has an average payback period of 20 to 30 years. Most homeowners will literally move out of the property long before the energy savings cover the cost of the initial installation. The contractor secures a highly profitable commission today, while you assume a massive financial liability. The utility companies operate on a similar logical framework. They are publicly traded entities that generate their primary revenue by selling you kilowatt hours. When massive heat waves roll across the country, their grid operates at maximum capacity, and their gross revenue spikes. They have absolutely no fiduciary duty to physically help you purchase less of their product. Their annual energy-saving tips are carefully curated public relations exercises. Advising you to close your interior fabric curtains creates the illusion of assistance without ever addressing the root structural cause. Curtains simply trap the heat inside the room after it has already passed through the glass. The damage to your cooling bill is already done. For 50 consecutive years, this extreme asymmetry of information allowed the energy industry to thrive, while working families absorbed the entire financial blow. The solution was never legally forbidden. It was just quietly omitted from every single conversation, left to gather dust inside highly technical federal reports, while your personal bank account slowly drained every single afternoon. This analysis is not financial advice. It is applied thermal physics designed to protect your wallet. The energy sector relies entirely on your passivity to keep their $60 billion industry thriving. You can permanently change that this weekend with a simple $15 roll of film. If this exposed a truth you needed to hear, subscribe and share this video with someone currently struggling with high summer utility bills. Every single share reclaims our financial independence. But your unprotected windows are not the only leak. Next time we will expose the silent appliance secretly draining your bank account while you sleep.